Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today I am going to talk to you about what some of our plans are to do while we are in Rome, and I'm also going to let you know some information I received from another Let's Go family member regarding whether or not you would want to take the train from Rome out to the port in Civitavecchia. I'm just going to include lots of information about visiting Rome and what we're going to do while we're there, and so I hope that you will stick with me for this video. So I would like to welcome all of our Let's Go family members. I really appreciate you watching and being here with us and for everything that you bring. Also, a big welcome to all of you who are new. I'm glad that you found us and hope you'll stick with us. If anyone hasn't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you in the Let's Go family, and you get a lot of information here about visiting different places, as well as all the protocols and all the information that you need to know about if you are planning to go on a cruise or really to travel very much right now. And so today we're going to talk about Rome. So first of all, there's always a lot of discussion about how you are going to get from the airport in Rome. That we're flying into Fiumicino, and so you can, some people fly in the day of the cruise and they hurry up out to the port and get on the ship. You all know I never recommend that. I always say come in a day early, especially when you're going so far. But even if it's not so far, sometimes funny things happen. And so anyway, once you're at the airport, there are lots of hotels and Airbnbs in the area around the airports, both airports there in Rome, but I'll talk about mostly Fiumicino because I've been there. There are hotels out at the port. The port there at Civitavecchia is an industrial port. It's not really a huge it doesn't have tremendous passenger facilities. Clearly they have some because there are quite a few cruise ships that use that area, but it also includes a very industrial port. And so what we are going to do is we are going to fly on Tuesday, May 24th. We're going to fly from here and get to Rome, and our flight gets in on Wednesday morning around 9:30 or 10. And so our plan right now is to just, when you land, you have to go through customs, get your luggage, and then we're going to plan to take the Leonardo Expressway. It is just a nonstop train that zips right along, and it goes from the airport there, right there at Fiumicino, clear into Termini. We are staying at the Best Western Hotel Royal Santina, which is right across the street from Termini there. It's across the street. So Termini is really big, and you have to kind of know which side you're going to be on because there is so much in that surrounding area. But right across the street from our hotel there, like right adjacent to Termini, is another very, very, very nice hotel. And since we're really not going to spend a lot of time in our hotel room other than to sleep, we decided we didn't need to spend money on having a really fancy hotel in Rome. And so anyway, that's where we're going to stay. And so it's really easy to get to Termini, and then you just walk over. But they also you can take a taxi from Fiumicino into Rome, and you can also take hire a car service, Uber, all of that kind of stuff. Any of that works really well. I think that the ticket from the airport into you know what, I just looked at it, is I think maybe it's 12 euro, maybe it's 14 euro, maybe it's 14 euros now, but it is really easy to go ahead and take into town and get you there. Now, once we get there, I'm assuming it'll be noon or 1, just depending on, I have not heard what the customs lines are like at Rome Airport yet, and so we'll just look forward to finding out and letting you know. But I'm guessing that by the time we do everything, it might not be until noon or 1. So we're going to go right to our hotel, and if our room's not ready, they said they are happy to hold our luggage for us, and then we are going to set off to go visit my favorite places. So we figure we might be hungry around then, and so just depending on how tired we are, on these flights you either sleep well or you don't. And so if we're really tired, we'll just take a cab. I would really like to go, and you can walk there easily from where we are, or you can take the metro. But if we're really tired, we'll take a cab, and I want to go right over by where the Pantheon. If you are not familiar with Rome, you have Piazza Navona, and you can then walk down to the Pantheon, onto the Trevi Fountain, fountain. There is just so much to see, and that whole area is so beautiful. So I think we will head over there and look for a little place to eat. I really don't know what to expect. I don't know if some of the teeny little places with such delicious food that we had been to more than once before COVID are still going to be there. I don't really know what to expect. So we're going to head over there. If we're not really hungry, we're going to go to Giolitti's. But anyway, that's the best, the very best gelato place in Rome. None of the places are bad. They're all really good that I've ever had gelato. So anyway, we're going to do that. And then we are going to start doing a little bit of sightseeing of just some of the things in that area. I think that's going to be a lovely day to spend some time sitting by the Trevi Fountain. One of the beautiful things about going to Rome is you can be hurrying everywhere to see everything. And I have done that before with not quite as much time to sit and enjoy everything. But one of the magical things of visiting the Eternal City is taking the time to sit by a fountain and watch the world go by, sit in a cafe and watch everybody walk by while you wait for your food. It is just extraordinary. There are so many beautiful piazzas in Rome, so many places to visit. My favorites, it's kind of hard to pick favorites, but I love Piazza Navona. It has the Fountain of the Four Rivers and two other Bernini fountains on the end. It's a bigger piazza. And then Piazza Barberini has the Triton Fountain, which is just spectacular. Claire, when Caroline and I, my daughter and I, went to Rome the very first time in 2006, it was really crazy. And we got to the hotel. We were with a tour group, and we got to our hotel and they said, oh, let's get on the bus and go. And that bus ride, I'll never forget. And by the time we got off the bus, I was like, I just want to go home. We were tired from, not sleeping good on the flight. And I was just like, okay, this is not what I expected. And we walked around the corner and there was the Triton Fountain. And my daughter and I looked at each other and knew that we were home. And ever since then, Rome has had this place in my heart. So don't miss the Triton Fountain in Piazza Barberini. So anyway, we are just going to walk around, see those kind of things, find some good food to eat, and really just enjoy a whole afternoon and into the evening there in Rome. We'll probably get tired early. If this is going to be your first trip traveling over to Europe, just remember, when you get there in the middle of the day, don't go to sleep. Some people maybe can go to sleep for an hour and then wake up. I am not one of those people. So we just always stay up and end up going to bed early. And it works really good because then the next day you wake up early and you're ready to go. And so we, the next morning, have tickets, and I want to tell you where we got them, to visit the Vatican, and a place called City Wonders. They have tours all over the world, but they have one. Their ones in Rome are under the title of Dark Rome, and DARKROME. And I will ask Gordon to put the link under this video. But they have a really cool tour that we are going to do, and the official name of it is called Sistine Chapel First Entry Experience with Vatican Museums. And what they do is they have you meet outside of the Vatican Museums. Right across there are a few entries into the Vatican, but there's a main entrance for the Vatican Museums. And so they have you meet just across the street and down a few steps by a little cafe. And we did do them before. We have done this. We did it in 2019 when we were there. And so we're going to do that. You meet there. I think our meeting time now is 8 o'clock, the earliest, or maybe it's at 7:30. But anyway, they have you meet early and they take you in before it's open to anybody else. And they take you directly to the Sistine Chapel. And it is fantastic. So first of all, to get there, you were walking through empty halls in the Vatican Museums. Can you believe that? You're walking through all of these empty halls and you're just looking at everything as fast as you can because the tour guide is taking you. And it's really nice too. They are small groups. I want to say it's 10. Oh yeah, no more than 10 people, 10 people or less that you're in the group with. So they walk you to the Sistine Chapel and you get to stay in there as long as you want and nobody else is there. And you might say, well, that's really nice, but I could do that for free. I think our tour is around $62 each. And, but you know what? You can't. Well, and that ticket includes entry into the entrance into the Vatican, because if you have been to the Sistine Chapel any other time, it is packed. I mean, packed. Standing room only. There's a little bench that goes around three sides, and it is really crowded. Like as soon as somebody stands up, somebody sits down. And when I see standing room only, like you're not standing socially distanced, you're standing with the next person right next to you. And constantly the guard is reminding people, he's saying, silencio, please be, please be quiet. But to be in there by yourself in such a remarkable, extraordinarily beautiful, historical, church place is like remarkable. So the last time Gordon and I did it, we just thoroughly enjoyed it. And what they do is that the tour guide will tell you things all about it. And then as you're ready, and if you're in there for 1 minute and want to go, you can go. And you get to be in the Vatican. I can't remember on this tour. Last time it was an hour before it opens. So you can go anywhere you want in the Vatican museums and see anything. And so we took our time and really looked it over and thoroughly just enjoyed being there. So we're going to do that. But then you're in the Vatican. So you can go anywhere you want in the Vatican museums and see anything you want. Now, if you enter at the main entrance and make your way to the Sistine Chapel on most tours and the way they generally work out is last, and then you either exit or else you can go to the St. Peter's, well, you generally don't exit. Well, you can exit from the Sistine Chapel and then you go outside and around to get into St. Peter's Basilica. And so that's what we always do. So we went in and saw everything that we wanted to see in the Vatican museums, and then we come out. So let me tell you this. I learned this trick from a Rick Steves guidebook, and it works. So as you are coming out of the Sistine Chapel, you're in the Sistine Chapel and you have to exit through a door that's like the screen. So you're still in the Sistine Chapel, but you've gone beyond that. And then as you're there, you're going to have a door on your left and a door on your right. The door on your left is an exit. You just go out and you're done. But if you go through the right-hand door, and I would say walk when a tour is leaving, and you just follow along, and then they take you right to the door and you get to go right into St. Peter's Basilica. Otherwise, if you want to go to St. Peter's Basilica, it is another huge, huge line. And by huge line, I mean, I have been there before when it is like down and you think of the whole, I just lost the word, the whole Vatican area there, like when you see on TV or a video where the Pope is speaking to all the people and it's this huge, huge area. I have seen it like circling that. And so you can be hours in that line. So exit that way and then you can get into St. Peter's Basilica and see all of that and then just leave at your leisure. Okay, so remember that. But remember, as you're heading back, look for things like the Raphael rooms and things as you go back, because the Raphael rooms, like where School of Athens and all these beautiful paintings that Raphael did, those are usually packed as well. Packed, packed, packed. And usually in high season, the Vatican is packed anyway. It'll be really interesting to see what it's like now. I've been there in June before, and then a couple of times in September and once at the beginning of October, and it's always so busy, like packed. Oh, and in July, went in July. Last time Gordon and I went in July, it was like, it is so packed, everyone. And so this is a really nice tour. I just can't emphasize that enough. It is a really nice way to see everything. A couple of the other things, like I would not miss the Raphael rooms. And you might want to just look at a book about the Vatican. Some of there are, and catch the highlights that particularly speak to you. I have spent days in the Vatican before and not missed seeing a single thing. And it does take a lot of time. And I've done that before, but this time we're not doing that. It's when I was with my daughter, who is an art historian. And so, but there is so much to see. And so you don't want to miss what would be one of your favorite things to see. They do have in the Musée Pio Clementino is what they call it. That area has like the sculpture garden that has like Laocoon and all of these other just spectacular sculptures that you've seen in books and seen forever. And so that's also really special to see. So I just wanted to make sure that you all know about that. Let's see. And by the way, you can stay in there all day if you want. We're not going to stay all day. We have 3 o'clock in the afternoon tickets to enter the Galleria Borghese. That is another place you're not going to want to miss. It's there in the Palazzo Borghese. You can just find it online. But those tickets you have to purchase in advance. And you're in there for 2 hours. And they have like starting times. And so when you go online, you select the time that you want to be there. They tell you to be there at least a half an hour early. And it is just beautiful. It is beautiful because it's a beautiful palazzo. It's just so much to see, just so beautiful, but also the art is spectacular. So much Bernini, so much just like Oh my goodness, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so you're not going to want to miss that. And even if you're not like that much into art, it is beautiful to see. And it really represents what Rome was known for, and just so much of their history. So it is really nice to see from that standpoint as well. I will tell you, just so that you're aware, when you go there to the Borghese, you have to leave your bag in the coat check room. I've never had anything missing coming up from my bag, but I always put my passport in my pocket and my wallet, because those, like, you gotta have those. And so they do let you take pictures though. You can take all of the pictures you want. I don't think you should take flash. They probably tell you that, but you can take your camera. That's no problem at all. And so that is, I also think, a place to not be missed. It has a beautiful park around it. There are the grounds, and just outside the door you come in and out of there, there's like these fountains, like with the head of something there, with water coming out of the mouth. And like, you should know, anywhere in Rome, you can just refill your water bottle in like the little fountains coming out of wherever, because you know what, that water has been flowing there for thousands of years. And I've always done that forever. People there do it, and you don't get sick. It's fabulous. And so take a minute to sit there and enjoy all of that as well. There's so much art in the Borghese. You're not going to want to miss that. And so let me tell you, those are our main things. And then we're going to head over and maybe go to Castel Sant'Angelo there on that day, and go across the Bridge of Angels, and it goes across the Tiber River there. It is just so spectacular. And so let me just go through here and tell you some other places that I would not miss. Like, we're just going to squeeze them in where we can, and if we're by one, but I'll just give you an idea. So the Capitoline Museum, well, I should say so you've got the Colosseum. I wouldn't miss that if you've not been. And then you've got the Roman Forum, and right by it is Palatine Hill. You can often buy tickets that include all three places. And let me tell you why I would buy tickets. It used to be that you could go, and you still can. So you can still buy tickets for the Colosseum online with a timed entry. And it's still going to involve a lot of lines. And it's not, and you know what, just so you know, in Italy, like, your timed entry might be 3 o'clock and you might still be standing there at 3:30, just because that's the way they are. It's not bad. It's just the way they are. And so they think the American lady standing there saying, well, excuse me, it's 3:05 and my time was for 3. That's not in their world. And so just embrace it, but just be aware that that's what's going to happen sometimes. Sometimes it's on time, but be aware of that. And so they changed some of their rules. So like when we went back in 2006, you would just get in and it was no problem. But now you have to have a ticket either bought in advance. And if you don't buy your ticket in advance, you're going to be standing in line. Like, you're going to use a lot of your day, and that's not a good use of your time in Rome unless you're moving there. If you're going to spend so much time there that it really doesn't matter, then you could do that. But otherwise, be wise and book your time. And there are a lot of places that offer like skip the line tours. And I've mentioned the tour guy. The tour guy is the same guy as the Roman guy. The City Wonders, they have tours. I might book one of those for the Roman Forum and the Palatine Hill. Gordon's only been there one time and he wanted to look at it again, and I never tire of seeing that. And so we might book a tour for that. In fact, we probably will for our Friday morning. But anyway, so the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, Palatine Hill, and then once you go up the hill, as you walk along, so you can either go up a bunch of steps to go up the hill when you get done with the Roman Forum, or you can walk up the street that's out the side. And about halfway through the Roman Forum, you will notice as you're walking towards the end of it that on your right, there's another little entrance there, but there are restrooms there. And that tip is golden because it is really hard to find restrooms in Rome. And so just keep your eye out as you're walking through if you need restrooms, and it will be off to your right as you're facing towards the rest of like the center of Rome. And so you can either go up the stairs at the end or walk up the street. If you walk up the street, you will see a lot more beautiful, you'll see ruins and some other things, but at the top of the hill is where the Capitoline museums are, and they're spectacular. They were there in the 1700s. I always say to my husband, I'm like, everything has been sitting in this museum longer than we have been a country here in the United States, and it is so so beautiful. It's a beautiful museum. It has so much beautiful sculpture and art, and just, it is worth a look. It is definitely worth a look. And sometimes when you're on vacation, you know, you can zip through somewhere and not spend as long a time as you would otherwise, but you can really get the feel for a place, get to see part of it. So I would highly recommend the Capitoline museums. They have like a sculpture in the middle, outside in the like little courtyard area by Michelangelo. It is just amazing. So amazing. And then there's a few churches that I would say don't miss. There's Santa Maria del Popolo. That one is over by the Pantheon. Every time you go there, just look. So if you're looking at the Pantheon from head on, it's off to your left, and there's like a sculpture of an elephant in the little courtyard there in front of it by Bernini. It's really cool. But that church has some beautiful paintings and sculptures inside, and they've been working on it a lot. And so it has not been open. It wasn't open any when we went in 2019. And so I couldn't tell from their website if they're done or not. But don't miss that one if you're over there. And see, that's a place you can pop in and out of. San Pietro and Vincoli, St. Peter in Chains, that's a church. That's the one that has like the Michelangelo Moses that he was doing for that tomb of one of the popes. And so it's got like the part that had been done, but that is a not miss. That's really, really cool to see. And it's cool to see even if you're not an art person. And then, like I mentioned, the Pantheon, the Trevi Fountain, Piazza Navona, Piazza Barberini that I told you. It's Piazza Bernini. Sorry, it's on the Barberini stop on the metro, if that helps you. They've got the Baths of Diocletian. I didn't see that until like my second or third time to Rome, but it's very cool. So if you have time, put that on your list. It's got the Santa Maria degli Angeli in there. It's got, and the Chiesa San Luigi de Francesi, it is the French church that is there right in Rome, and it has a lot of Caravaggio paintings and have some Euro coins because you have to put it in the thing there to make the lights come on so that you can see it. But I wouldn't miss that. There's the Galleria Pamphili, Doria Pamphili, and I've only been there one time, but it's in a huge palazzo with art, and just like the way they built then and how they made everything so beautiful is it's worth popping in there for a few minutes and taking a look at that. Let's see. There's the Basilica de Agostino, and that one has some Caravaggio in there. There's the Santa Maria sopra Minerva. You know what? That is the one that is right by the Pantheon. I apologize. And that's the one right by that elephant. But that one has the sculpture of by Michelangelo of Christ carrying the cross. So that is worth a look when you go in there. Giolitti's, like I mentioned, you don't want to miss there for your gelato, and it's Giolitti. So, and then San Maria della Vittorio and Piazza Coronale. That's a government area, but it's really pretty. Caroline and I went there. You have to schedule your tour in advance on that as well, and plan a way to get out of that tour early, though. That tour took longer than we meant, and so have an excuse to get out of that tour about once you come in from the gardens. There you go. And then, like I said, Castel Sant'Angelo we're going to go to, and the Arapacus is really cool. And so the Arapacus, it's called the Museo della Arapacus. That is made out of like the same marble that like the Getty is made out of in Los Angeles, the museum. And it is just beautiful. You go inside. It doesn't take a lot of time either, but it is worth going in. And so those are some of the things that I wouldn't miss. And even more than that, I wouldn't miss the time sitting down. And like, you know, sometimes you want to eat in a piazza so that you can get to enjoy, like I like to eat in the Piazza Navona, simply so that I can watch that Fountain of the Four Rivers, the Quattro Fiumi fountain. Just, it is so extraordinary. And so we just sit there and eat. But and you know what? We've eaten like in 3 different restaurants in that piazza there, and a couple of them were okay, and one of them was like really, really good. But really, usually you find the very best places, just the little places when you're walking down a street and you see a couple of tables outside and you sit down, or you have to go in and just sit down in a little place. those are usually the very best places to eat. They have the very best food, but don't miss the chance to see the light there. My daughter and I always say the light in Paris is indeed pink, but in Rome it is gold, and you don't want to miss enjoying that. Sit there at the Trevi, take your time. Don't take anything to eat there. You can't sit there and eat your gelato, heads up, or the police guy will come and tell you to move. I didn't know about that rule, and he was really nice, but I had to get up and move. We were just having our little cones of gelato, and so I had to step out until I finished mine. So there, now you know that. When you go to the Trevi, always turn around and throw a coin in the fountain over your shoulder. That means you will return to Rome someday. And so there is just so much to see there in Rome, so much to explore. Now, what I want to tell you is the metro. Here's what I want you to make sure you know about Rome. Number one, in Termini, really pay attention. Pay attention very closely. Like, don't be scared, but really pay attention. Make sure that you know where your bag is. Like, I always take a crossbody purse. I'm just taking a little one this time, and make sure it's in front of you. Like, make sure it's in front of you, and hold on firmly to your bags when you're in Termini there. And when you are on the metro, I have never felt unsafe on the metro in Rome, but I always have my hand on my bag, and not just on the strap, like on my bag. And I always, like when Gordon went with me last time, I made sure he had his hand in his pocket on his wallet, and never put your hand in your wallet in your back pocket, gentlemen. Just put it in your front pocket and make sure that you know where it is. But I have never felt unsafe there, and I have ridden it at night with my daughter. And so they have cabs everywhere. It is really handy. Whenever you do get into a cab, ask how much though. When you get in, you say where you want to go, or else lean over at the window and say where you want to go and ask how much. And they'll tell you how much, and then you can hold them to it. Every once in a while, you'll find one that has the little meter thing. And so I am usually comfortable with those, because if he says I've got a meter, I say then about how much, and he will tell me, so that then I, number one, know, and they can't add on a bunch extra. And I always just take cash to pay them. You can get cash at an ATM somewhere if you want. You can get it at your bank before you go, whatever you want. In cash, I take euros. I don't take dollars. And so you're going to want cash for that. You're going to want cash. Let's see, when else you're going to want cash in Rome? You're going to probably want it, I don't know, when I'm buying just a gelato, I don't want to pay for it with a credit card, so I take cash for that. Some little eating places don't always take credit cards, so it's nice to have some cash for that. And so I would just definitely say take plenty of cash with you, but always don't put it in one place, especially if it's very much. Like, put some in your purse, put some in your pocket, leave some in the safe in your hotel room. I just wouldn't take it all with me in case something does happen. But I always have a little cash in my pocket in case I see something that I want. There's lots of little vendors selling different things, and then I can just pay for it with the money in my pocket, and then they don't then I have to open my wallet there and everything. But just be really careful. If you keep your eye, like at the Vatican, everywhere you go, pay attention. Pay attention to where your purse is, or your bag, whatever you've got, and pay attention, like, gentlemen, to your pockets. And if anything is very crowded at all, just have your hand in your pocket on your wallet, or have pockets that zip. A lot of people like those, like on your cargo type pants, that you can zip. Be really aware of that. And then let's see. Oh, I was going to talk to you about taking the train. So as I've mentioned before, every other time that I've been in Rome that I've gone on a cruise, we have just had the habit of taking the Leonardo Express, because it's the nonstop train, so it goes faster, and it's less crowded, and it has places for your luggage, and it goes from Termini right back out to the airport. Then we usually get off, go to baggage claim, meet the princess rep, take the transfer, the bus out to the port. And that has worked smoothly. Done that lots of times. Works very smoothly. And one of our Let's Go family members said, well, you could go ahead and ride the train. It's only like 10 euro, whatever. And so we thought, well, that's not a bad idea. It's like $79 for the transfer. And I thought, well, let's just maybe do that. And so we have actually bought the train tickets, and they were 14 euro for both of us all together. And And then we were talking about it, and I mentioned it to my daughter, and she's like, "What are you doing, Mother? Those trains are not." And she's lived in Rome for a time when she was in college, and she's like, "Those trains, Mom, they're going to come, but eventually. Sometimes they're really good on time, sometimes they're hours late." Like, what are you thinking, Mom? And so that made me a little nervous, but some people have had excellent luck with it. And so I told her that, and she's like, uh-huh. And so, anyway, so then, after our live last night, so today is Saturday, May, 14th. And I got this message from Nancy, and thank you, Nancy. And so I'm going to share what she said with all of you because I think it might help you. I know it helped me. So based on what she shares, I really appreciate it. We are going to go ahead and do the princess transfer. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm not daring or that I'm super worried, but I guess it's, everybody has their own toleration level or tolerance level for how much it bothers you. So here's what she says. She says, "Don't do it. Don't take the train from Rome to the port." So just before COVID, she went to Rome, visited Rome for a time, and then she was going to take the train out to Rome. So she bought her ticket. She goes to Termini, and she is waiting at the train station there at Termini. And so she finally found a person to ask, and they said, "Oh, it should show up, just keep waiting." And she kept waiting and waiting. So finally, very concerned, she says by that time she's really starting to worry. She found a train person at the desk who checked and found out that instead of leaving from Termini, now the train was going to leave from across town. So they told her to go down an elevator to the subway and ride it over. So she's like, "I had my big suitcase, and then I had a second smaller suitcase with everything that she had purchased, and then she had her I can't tell if she had a carry-on also, but then she also had her camera bag. So she had more luggage than really she would be managing. So she finally struggled to get down to the subway and struggled to get onto this. She got down the level and over, and just heads up, in Rome, you guys, the elevators, I think, maybe work less than they do work. And that's just a heads up. That seems to happen a lot, that their elevators aren't working. And so finally she got on the train, the metro, and took it over to the other train station. And once she got there, the elevators and the escalators were out. She says it was so busy and she didn't feel comfortable to leave her bags at the bottom, which, yeah, they would have been stolen, and go clear up and leave a bag. So she's like, "It's the only time I have just acted like a little old lady." And I asked a gentleman to please carry my bag up the stairs, and he did. So once she got up the stairs, you have to go down all these hallways. And along the way, she met another couple that had princess tags on their bags. And she's like, that made us friends instantly. So finally they got on the train. So when you got on the train there, she says, there's nowhere for your luggage. You have to either leave it, you had to either leave it loose in the back of the carriage or lift them onto shelves over her head. And she said she finally found a place to sit down, and these three young girls were really nice. So they put her big bag on the shelf over there for her. Once they got out to the where the train station is at the port, they helped her off. And the other couple, so you had to go downstairs with your luggage, across and back up again. And apparently the gentleman of the other couple, he had a really bad shoulder. So he went and looked for where the bus would be to take them to the ship while they managed the luggage. So they finally got all the luggage up there, got the bus, had to put the luggage, of course, under the bus, and then they waited 30 minutes because the bus was waiting 30 minutes for all of any passengers who would want to come. So then when they finally got to ship, they had to unload, and she said they got there with not too much time at all to spare before it was all aboard. And so she says, I would never do that again, simply because it was so hard, and it was the train was leaving from another station than was originally scheduled. And so I just really appreciate that heads up, Nancy. I don't need that kind of stress in my life. Maybe it is my age. I don't know. But we are just going to go ahead and do the other way. And so I just wanted to let you all know that we have, like Mark, he was so kind, and some other people have said, oh, I've done the train lots of times from Termini out to the port. And I've heard from her and a couple of other people that it didn't go as planned. And so that's just what we're going to do. But I just wanted to let you all know, if you're going to visit Italy, it's a good thing to have an idea of what's going on. And so if you have any questions after I've told you all of this, go ahead and put it in the comments below. I can cover things more and tell you more information if you would like, but I just was trying to do my best to give you an overview. The other thing that I forgot to tell you, let me tell you super fast, is we were entertaining the idea of taking they have a 7-hour tour that they'll pick you up, and it's not too far from where we'll be staying, and take you for 7 hours out to see Villa d'Este. You get some free time in the middle of Tivoli, the little town there, and then they take you to Hadrian's Villa also. And I think we are leaning towards maybe not doing that this trip. There's a lot of things that just make me think I want to just have a little bit more time in Rome. And we made the reservation, and you can cancel up to 24 hours before the tour. And so we're just thinking about it a little bit more, and we'll decide what we're going to do. But I just wanted to let you know. And on TripAdvisor, there's lots of different kinds of tours. Or you can look, like I said, at the City Wonders website, the tour guy, the Roman guy. And there are a lot of really good tours that you can join if you feel like that would be helpful to you. And so I'll be talking to you all. Oh, you know what? If you appreciate this video, will you please give it a thumbs up? I will be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.